so often we think we know what we need, but actually, when we tune into the body, it could be something completely different. And this is the importance of giving our body the space to communicate with us, the space to show us the way. Hello and welcome to Sync and Flow, the podcast with me, your host, Josie Thorne. I am a Red Tent Women's Circle facilitator, a womb healer, and feminine empowerment coach. I have been guiding women to embody their true essence through womb activations and feminine embodiment practices. I started Sync and Flow to help educate and connect women back to the wisdom of their sacred womb space and cyclical nature. I want to help all women reawaken to the true power of the feminine that lives deep within them, so that they may cultivate a relationship to self that is rooted in pure trust, divine love, and a deeply intuitive connection to the body. Thank you for being here and taking the time to listen to this podcast episode. I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone. Today we are discussing PMS as an initiation. What does this mean? How can we start to change our narratives and the stories we tell us about what PMS is? And how can we start to flip the script and really see PMS as this deep portal for greater self-awareness, greater depth, greater initiation into the depths of our being? And yeah, let's get into it. So, PMS has unfortunately a really negative connotation for most women. Most women see PMS as this devil that takes over their lives and disrupts and causes friction and emotional chaos and turmoil and all of this pain and chaos in our lives. And so I really want to, through this conversation, help you to start to see PMS as initiation into greater levels of self-awareness. So my mentor, my womb healing mentor, often spoke about PMS standing for provide me space. And really, this is so powerful to start to see it in this way, because we can really see PMS as an invitation into deeper connection with ourselves. PMS as an opportunity to deepen our awareness of our cyclical nature. PMS as an opportunity to deepen our awareness of our womb wisdom and of our womb space in general. I really see PMS as a symptom of the modern era, a symptom of capitalistic patriarchal society, because PMS is a symptom of a womb space that is ignored. PMS is a symptom of a womb space that is trying so desperately to get your attention. And so I often speak about how we have these different faculties of intelligence within the body. We have the mental faculty assisted by the brain intelligence. We have a heart intelligence. We have, which connects us to our emotions. We have a gut intelligence, which connects us to safety. And then we also have a womb intelligence. And so when the intelligence of the womb is ignored, this is when PMS starts to rear its ugly head. And this comes from someone who struggled with severe PMS for a very long time. One of the main reasons I was put on the pill as a 15-year-old girl was because of how chaotic and erratic my PMS was. In fact, when I was younger in high school, during my PMS period, I would get significantly lower grades because of how distracted I was by this experience within my body. And so it's unfortunate when we use band-aids such as the pills, such as hormonal birth control, to try to control these symptoms, which very easily can be calmed and downregulated through the simple processes of self-awareness, embodiment, womb wisdom, and all the tools that I have guided myself through and my clients into healing their relationship with their womb. And so PMS really is a portal to greater levels of self-awareness, because the symptoms that we experience from our womb is really the womb's way of trying to reconnect with us. It is the only way that our womb knows how. The body communicates to us through sensations, through pleasure, through pain, through emotions. Emotions just being energy in motion, right? And so the womb, having been ignored for majority of our lives, is going to try to call us back into this deep feminine connection with our cycle, with our womb, with our blood, with our body, through these symptoms that we experience and call PMS. Like I said, my mentor often describes PMS as provide me space, meaning that PMS is an opportunity for you to deepen your level of self-care, to deepen your intuitive connection to your body. PMS is really a symptom of a disconnect between the mind and the body. PMS is the womb's way of trying to facilitate a deep connection. Hey, Kato! And an embodiment of your womb wisdom, an embodiment of your womb power. The PMS is really just the symptom of a disconnect, and it's really inviting us to pay more attention to our cyclical nature, pay more attention to the different phases of the menstrual cycle and how we can show up and deepen our level of self-care in each phase. And so often PMS is present when we do not live cyclically, when we are not taking great care of ourselves, when we are not in tune with the menstrual cycle, and when we are not paying close attention to the rhythms of our body, to the cycles of hormones, to the cycles of emotions and energy that moves through us over our menstrual cycle. PMS is this gateway because it is calling our attention. PMS is your womb's way of deeply trying to connect with you. And so, how can we deepen this connection? Well, I often speak about this awareness of our womb space that needs to be embodied, an awareness of our womb space, not just when we are menstruating, but an awareness that we as women need to hold in our bodies at all times of our cycle, no matter where we are in our cycle. PMS is this catalyst, right? It is a catalyst for deepening self connection, because PMS is the symptom of a lack of self connection, a lack of self intimacy, and a lack of a mind body connection, a heart womb connection. And so, the only way that the womb knows how to try to get your attention is through these symptoms, is through the pain, is through the heavy bleeds, is through the chaotic emotions that may come up in your luteal phase, which is when we typically experience PMS. It is that 1 week before the period where we start to have these identity crises, and we start to become so much more sensitive because the high of the estrogen is now over. We've ovulated, and now we move into luteal phase where progesterone is the dominant hormone. I've heard many women say that progesterone is the oracle hormone. And progesterone allows us this ability to disconnect from the external world and reconnect to the internal world, because as we move towards menstruation, the veil between the physical and the spiritual within our body starts to thin as we approach our bleed, because when we bleed, the veil is non-existent. We have this open crown and this open root chakra, and we have this energy flowing through. And so PMS is a symptom of us not prioritizing our internal world. It is a symptom of us not taking greater enough care of ourselves. And so it really can be this really deep catalyst that calls us into greater intimacy with our womb, with our body, with our deep self. Because this is what the second half of the cycle is all about. It is about cultivating a deep relationship with our internal world. And so PMS is this invitation to go deeper, an invitation to check in and really evaluate your life. How much time are you spending focusing on work, kids, partners, the to-do list, the house, whatever it is? In balance, how much are we actually spending on ourselves, on our self-care, on our self-pleasure, on activities that fill up our cup? And so in this way, we can say that PMS is a symptom of an undernourished soul, an empty cup. And so the more you deepen into your womb wisdom, the more you will realize that there is this constant channel of communication that happens between the mind and the body, the conscious and the subconscious self. And so when we deepen into our personal embodiment, our PMS starts to disappear. It starts to slowly fade away because we are now finally paying attention to our emotional state of being, to the heart space, to the womb space. Hi, Zanya. We are finally paying attention to the importance of self-care. And self-care isn't just something we do on the side as an extra bonus. No, self-care needs to be this guiding force in your life, this guiding light that you show up for yourself every single day, whether in big doses or small doses. PMS is guiding us to show up for ourselves on a much deeper level than we have ever shown up for ourselves. And so that can also lead to quite a lot of internal turmoil because we suddenly realize, like, fuck, I have been abandoning my self-care. I have been abandoning this deep, sensual, intimate relationship with myself. And that is why I am experiencing these symptoms. And so it can sometimes come as quite a big shock. And so we have to be really gentle with ourselves during this process of self-inquiry, because when we ask ourselves these questions, it shines light on all the ways in which we haven't been showing up for ourselves. And so using the tools that I share on my Instagram, on my social media, and with my clients, we can deepen into this communication with our body and really start to tap in and ask our body, what do you need from me? How can I help you to feel better? And so often we think we know what we need, but actually when we tune into the body, it could be something completely different. And this is the importance of giving our body the space to communicate with us, the space to show us the way, because the body is always communicating with us. We just have to create that bridge, that communication channel that allows for the body to communicate back to us. And so it becomes this really beautiful communication between mind and body, mind and womb. And this really is what womb wisdom is all about. It is about deepening in connection to the womb and knowing that the womb is its own entity. It has its own intelligence. And so when we create the space to listen to our womb and tell our womb, I am listening, I am here, I love you, I care for you, I am listening, please tell me what you need, the answers will slowly start to trickle over, okay? Because we've told our womb that we're listening, and now our womb can start to really share with us what she needs from that embodied deep place. The womb knows, your body knows how to heal itself. And so we have to create this channel of communication by regularly checking in with our womb, regularly meditating with her, regularly placing our hands on our womb space, and just taking some deep, slow breaths. In last week's live, I spoke about how we can remain balanced in our luteal phase, because so many women often struggle in their luteal phase because they struggle to slow down. And so this is one of the reasons that we experience PMS, is that we're not making the space to slow down in our luteal phase, because with the progesterone being released versus the estrogen at the first half of the cycle, our brain is operating on a completely different level. Every time we have a hormonal shift in our bodies, whether that's from the first half of the cycle to the second half of the cycle, or from luteal to menstrual, your brain is operating in a completely different way. And so this is why cyclical living is an antidote to so many of the symptoms that we experience during our menstrual cycle, because it allows us to tune in with the deeper needs of our body, the energetic needs of our body, the dietary requirements, the exercise requirements of our body that shift throughout our cycle. And so slowing down is the number one technique for eradicating PMS. Another tool that I recommend is the heart womb meditation, which you can find for free on my YouTube channel. And this meditation is so fucking powerful. It really is the foundation of everything that I teach my clients, and the healing work that I do on myself is. And the beauty of this meditation is that it helps to create this communication channel between mind and womb, mind and body. And so PMS is provide me space. It is your womb asking for you to create more spaciousness in your life, cutting your to-do list in half during your luteal phase, really asking your body, what capacity do I have today? Not trying to get everything done, not trying to achieve and do like we have at the first half of our cycle. The first half of our cycle is the very masculine energy, external focus. And then the second half of the cycle is the more internal focused, slowing down, feminine energy. And so this is really the time of our body the time of our cycle to deepen in connection with our body and to prioritize self-care. And I say this to all my clients, is during a luteal phase, you need to double down on your self-care. Your self-care needs to be greater than it normally is, because this is the time when your body is requiring that self-care on a deeper level, much more than ever before. And so when we can provide our bodies this spaciousness, when we can get off the hamster wheel of the to-do lists and really start to check in with ourselves, come home to our body and create time and rituals for self-intimacy, this is when our PMS starts to disappear. It really, really is about cultivating greater levels of self-awareness, self-intimacy, and ritual practice. I love creating rituals around the menstrual cycle. The entire cycle in itself is a ritual. And so to have different practices and rituals and tools at each stage, at each phase of your cycle, is really going to support you in deepening this connection to your body, to your womb space. The PMS is a guide, and in this way we can actually give thanks to our PMS. We can thank our body for calling us home, right? Our bodies are our sacred temple, the sacred home. And so the PMS and the cramps and the pain and the erratic emotional chaos is our body's way of signaling to us that we're not paying close enough attention, that we're not prioritizing connecting with our feminine energy. And so we can give thanks and show gratitude to our PMS. Thank you, body. Thank you, womb, for guiding me home. Because when we experience PMS, it is just a symptom that we are out of alignment with our natural cycle, with cyclical living, with the ebbs and flows of our womb space. And this is the beauty of being a woman. It is so multidimensional. We get to ride these super high waves, and then we get to come down and be more internal and deep and mystical and complicated and emotional, right? It's so beautiful when we start to see our emotions as teachers, when we start to see these crazy emotions in our PMS phase as really just an invitation for greater self-awareness, really tapping in. Okay, why is this emotion coming up? What is it trying to teach me? What is it trying to show me? Where in my life am I not making time to prioritize feeling? Because PMS can be so intense that it's all we feel, right? But it wouldn't be this way if we were constantly checking in with our emotions, with our heart, with our womb, and making the time and ritualistic practice for this depth of connection with the self. If anyone is live and has any questions, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to drop some questions in the comments. I would love to hear how this is landing for you. How do you experience your PMS? What do you think your PMS is trying to communicate to you? And how can you show your womb that you are dedicated to your healing, that you are dedicated to listening to her and creating more space for her in your life? I hope that this has been valuable. Please feel free to reach out to me. I offer one-to-one womb healing coaching and support for any woman that is experiencing a tumultuous cycle, and especially during her PMS phase. This really is so important, and you don't have to heal this alone. You can work with womb healers such as myself that can give you the tools and empower you with the practices to heal your PMS, to heal your period cramps, and to deepen in connection with your body. Because this is really, your womb wants to be a part of your life. Your womb wants to be your best friend. Your womb wants to connect with you. And so how can we make more space in our lives to facilitate this connection? Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode and engage with all the wisdom that was shared. If you enjoyed this podcast, please remember to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice, as this really helps this wisdom reach new people. If you have any questions or queries, please feel free to reach out to me via Instagram DM or send me an email. You can follow me on my personal account on Instagram at Josie, Josie _Thorne, THORNE, or you can follow Sync and Flow, my business accounts, at Sync, that's spelled SYNC _in_flow. Please feel free to reach out with any questions or queries you may have. Otherwise, get in contact to book a free discovery call to start your self-healing spiritual journey today. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now, loves.